Needless to say, the current health crisis has crippled the live music industry and has sent a lot of owners and workers scrambling just to make ends meet. Bring Music Home is a project intended to help these music venues stay afloat by showcasing these music venues and personalities behind them in over 30 cities through art, photos, and stories behind the music. Here with more are the co-founders of Bring Music Home, Amber Mundinger and Tamara Deek. And here to lead the conversation, our own Misha Vladimirsky of Filterless. Welcome to you all.
Hey guys, Amber and Tamara, thanks for coming on the show, and love to chat with you guys about Bring Music Home. First question, how did this book come about? Thanks for pulling me in to be a part of it, but would love to get an answer to how did this happen?
Yeah, no, thank you for having us. And thank you for being a part of the project. It really started with, I was on a conversation with Kevin Condon, who's the other co-founder of the project with Tamara and I. And, I think it was early March in New York City. Things were getting really bad here. And I think we all just saw kind of, the face of music just changing kind of, right before our eyes. And so Kevin actually was a little down when I was talking with him. And I said, what if we started talking to people behind all of these amazing places? Would you be up for that, and doing portraiture? And that was really kind of the seed of this idea that then we had a conversation with Tamara. And I think, I think between the three of us just started to really concept it out. And that's really how it was born, out of close friends in music, just thinking about all the people and the places and the music that we care about and the industry. And it just kind of laid the foundation for something that felt really, really organic and came together very, very quickly. Tamara, I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was exactly like you said, it happened very quickly. I think, being here in Austin, we were reeling from the cancellations of South by Southwest, and I had very serendipitously already been speaking to a lot of venue owner operators in this city. And then when you guys reached out about this project, I was like, well, I'm already talking to half these people that we would want to interview. Why don't we just, I was on board right away, because I believed that the idea, it gave us something creative to latch onto when all of us, I think, were very unsure of, still are, right? Like what's coming next, and to be able to have a creative project that we could kind of wrap our arms around, it just felt right.
A project like this comes around, and then how do you actually find all these parts? How do the photographers in all these cities that are, shooting, and the cinematographers and all that? Like what, if somebody's trying to break into stuff like this, how do they find people like you?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, I think for us, we've been fortunate to build an incredible network over the course of our careers of just good humans. And I think, the number one thing that that we've talked about a lot is, working with people that we vibe with and that seem to be in alignment with our vision. And that doesn't mean that we're saying no to diversity, quite the opposite. We want people who have different opinions and ideas and very, different backgrounds. Like that's so important to the story that we're telling. But I think for us, we wanted to, align ourselves with people that really deeply, passionately care about music. And in order to care about it at that level, I think, frankly, you need to understand the ecosystem. Of course, a fan who just goes to a show, absolutely awesome. We're glad you're there. That's super important. But to understand how the whole show comes together and what it takes to, record an album as an artist today, or to, keep the lights on in a venue, or to book a tour as a talent booker, like there's a lot that goes into these shows. And so I think as we started to think about who we wanted to work with and these creative people, it just kind of snowballed. It's like Kevin as a photographer had a great network of people. Then we met our next photographer here in Austin. And from there, it just on and on, recommendations, and then a lot of just cold outreach, like looking through Instagram and finding incredible talent that way. So many people have been out there taking photos right now, especially with all of the protests and things that are going on in all of the cities around the country. So it's been...
I think to Tamara's point, we really started with a foundation of people that we were connected with. And that we had relationships with, or that we really admired their work. And then, through that, I think working with those people like yourself, we ultimately created this really amazing foundational network that just kind of started to have a ripple effect.
Well, we can talk about a little bit about what the book is actually going to do and the posters. I'd love to that series, because I mean they're so rad, and obviously I get to see more than others because I'm one of the poster artists with Gabriel here in San Francisco. So would love to talk about that if you guys want to give that a shine, and then talk about how people can support Bring Music Home, and also then maybe a partnership maybe in some way.
When we were originally talking about this project from the very beginning, it's like, I think Tamara said it actually, a pretty coffee table book is great and all in the long term to provide relief, but what are we doing right now? And so I think we went through a couple different ideas and ideations of how we could be helpful, and the posters are really what we landed on, because again, working in all of these cities, every single city has a distinct culture, a distinct music scene, a history. And so the whole concept was to work with one designer in every city, or collaborators, and ask them to put together their poster, giving them complete creative freedom on that. But, our only request was just have the name of the city in there and keep in mind, what we're trying to do for this project. And so all of the proceeds of these posters, they go to the Emergency Relief Fund for the National Independent Venue Association, and they're going to roll out across the summer and into early fall. And we have an amazing partner in Fine Southern Gentlemen who is actually handling all of the orders, doing all of the printing of these posters, really just, in an amazing way, donating their time, skills, everything to help support this project. These are just beautiful pieces of art.
We want to get this out, as soon as possible. Obviously, we want to do it right. But the book is going to comprise the 30 plus cities that we're currently shooting around the country. So the photos are portraits, and they are of the people behind live music. So we're talking everyone from venue owner operators to talent bookers, door staff, bar staff, and then in some instances, musicians who have a long-standing relationship with said music venue. They're also joining us in conversation. We want this to be the piece de resistance that people have on their, coffee tables. You like music, you need this book, right?
Yeah. And the majority of the proceeds go to the National Independent Venue Association. So,
Yes.
It's a huge, in our mind, we want to sell out of this thing because, it's really going to help people and going back to the venues themselves and the people behind them.
Thanks, guys. That was awesome.
No, thank you.
You.